I actually like that flag because it's the public that this channel basically has, which is people from Nordic countries and from the rest of the whole Europe. But yeah, let's get straight into the video. Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Firmly Talking. So on today's video, I'm gonna talk about salary negotiation and which things you should do and say during the interview process in order to get the maximum salary possible that the employer eventually offers you. So the first thing that you should do and say in the that happens in the first interview. Like, it doesn't matter if it's really with the your future manager or with the human resources, but just state it, right? Because in the first interview, in the end of the interview, you should say something like so like when the person that is interviewing you eventually finishes, like saying something like, all right, thank you for today's interview. Do you have any question that would you like that you're wondering, or would you like to come up with? Then in that moment you should say something like, well, assuming that everything goes as expected and I'm still part of the interview process, I'm sure we can get into an agreement for a fair salary. Obviously I want to be compensated at the highest of the range for this job position, given my previous studies, what I studied and my previous experience, as well as my set of skills that I have for this position. But I'm more concerned about the how this position fits given my values and for my career in the future. Because by saying something like this, you're kind of saying to the interview and to the company that you will not accept any salary, like an average salary. And then from the beginning, this salary that they are gonna offer you is gonna be a little bit higher from what normally offered to every person that they are interviewing for different positions. And this is key, obviously, because in the past I didn't basically, either I didn't do it, or I did it wrongly, or I did it after some, like during the whole process, like maybe in the middle or like in the end. But this is super important that something that is like this, you say it in the beginning, either if it's with the manager or with the human resources. But the manager obviously eventually should know something like this, because then the offer is going to come up as a higher one. The second aspect, right, and this is also important, is that negotiation it sucks. Like I've been through that, obviously, and like there's like some days, or like during the negotiation, if it takes some days or like maybe 2 weeks, which like you're like all the time negotiating between the company and you, or like the different companies that you have offers for and you, it makes you anxious and it makes you uncomfortable. But it's important that you do this, because otherwise, like, companies and businesses are gonna take advantage of you, and they are gonna, like, you're gonna be working more for less pay, which makes sense, but like for them obviously, but not for you. Then it's super important that you state and you do that from the beginning, because if not, I can guarantee you that every company is gonna take advantage of you. That's why also from the first moment, whenever you have an offer, it's also important that you apply for as many jobs as possible. Let's say, for example, 5 jobs every day, right? So you start looking for a job, right? You have you apply for like different offers every day, like 5 offers, and then for those that you have interviews, you state always what I said previously in the beginning, the aspect on that you're not gonna accept that we're gonna get into an agreement for a fair salary. So you say everything, all of that, in all the different interviews that you have. And then eventually, when you get different offers for the different job positions, given that you applied for as many jobs as possible from the beginning of the time that you started looking for a job, then negotiation is gonna become much easier, because of the fact that maybe like a company, right? You state that in all, like, let's say for example, you have 5 interviews and 3 different offers in the end. For the 5 interviews, you say, I'm sure we can get into a fair agreement because of my because of my salary, because of my previous jobs and my studies. Then you say that in the 5 different interviews. And out of those 5, for example, maybe you eventually have an offer for 3 different jobs, right? So in these cases, it's gonna become so much easier, because then for these three you're gonna get different offers, right? Let's say, for example, 40k in one, or on the other one you have 36k, and the other one maybe you have 45k, right? So in these cases, maybe for one job position, for one job, maybe it's closer to your place, or the job itself is much more interesting. Then in those situations, for example, let's say it's the one for 40. So you can say, thank you for the offer, but actually I got another offer for this from this other company. You don't even need to name it, the company, for this amount, for 45k. Do you think, and maybe you could say something like, do you think you could make something to make your offer more competitive and more attractive? Something like this. It's super important you say it, obviously. But it's, and then like eventually, maybe they offer you 45, and then you go back to the other, and then you say something like that. And then it's gonna, like, between the two companies, or the three in these cases, they are gonna compete between each other in order to get your work and your hours for working and your value that you will provide eventually for the company. So basically they are gonna compete between each other, and then you will eventually get the best job that you wanted, or like the best for given your own values in your own career, and you will also get the highest of the possible salaries. And basically, yeah, this is gonna, like, for the companies, they are gonna see that you're in demand and you are like a good employee and a good person to work with, and you're gonna be a good value for the company, that they are gonna compete between each other, and then they will see that you're like valuable, and then they're gonna fight more for you. Basically, that's everything that you need to do. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. I wanted to do this video for a while. I think it's really necessary and important to do this stuff, because from me, like in previous jobs that I had during my life, I didn't do it. But whenever you, like, when you do it, I know it becomes anxious, and even if you don't have experience and you're like a new graduate, you have a set of skills, you know, a unique set of skills, plus what you studied. Maybe you studied something and you were really good in that, and you were like one of the best in the class. So then these two things, you can use them in order to, okay, I want this amount of money, okay, or like maybe something like, or yeah, like, thank you for the offer, but I was actually expecting this amount because of this, and this. And then once you get the job that you really wanted at the highest of the amounts that possible, and the job that you really liked out of the three, in order to get constant raises after 6 or after 12 months from the starting of the job, or even eventually after a while, like let's say every 6 months and every 12 months, you could say something like to your manager, something like, hi, I would like to actually make your life easier and get more responsibility in the job. So do you think there's something that I could do in order to make your life easier and to get more responsibility? Because then whenever you say this, your manager is going to say like, okay, he's going to take more tasks that I normally do, or like other people do, I'm going to assign them to him, right, or to her. Obviously in these situations, whenever you get more responsibilities, not more job, because this is important, or either more job or either more responsibilities, but if you get more responsibilities, then you will be able to say, hi, but listen, you gave me more responsibilities, then the salary should also increase, you know. So this is, and actually it can happen like during different times of the year, not only twice. It can happen like 4 or 5, or like, yeah, it doesn't even matter. But just like saying like something like this, like, hi, I like to contribute more in this job. So, you know, and I would like to get more responsibility. Do you think I could do something in order to make your life easier and get more responsibilities, and something I could do right now? So then when he or she assigns those tasks or those responsibilities to you, then you will be able to ask for a raise. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you watch this other video, which is my latest upload from last week. And yeah, make sure you subscribe here for the new upcoming videos. Take care, and see you in the next one. And remember to stay always friendly.